Welcome back to Think Thrice Problem Solving. We have a fun little problem today. So we want to find the smallest integer n so that the nth derivative of g of x is equal to g of x. We're given two conditions. One, d cubed, the third derivative with respect to x, of f of x is equal to f of x. And g of x is equal to cosine of x plus f of x. So if you want to give this a shot, go ahead and pause the video and try on your own. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and work through a solution. So what we're going to do here is we're going to note a few things. So first, from our first equation, if the third derivative with respect to x of f of x is equal to f of x, then that means that the nth derivative, so if we take a derivative a times of f of x dx, f of x, that'll equal f of x if a is equal to 3 times I for any I that is in the natural numbers here. Okay? So if I take I equals 1, then the third derivative is going to be equal to f of x. If I take I equal 2, the sixth derivative, ninth derivative, so any derivative that's a multiple of 3 is going to be equal to f of x. If I look at my second equation here, I notice that I have cosine of x plus f of x. So let's look at the function cosine of x. So if I take the derivative of cosine of x, that's equal to negative sine of x. If I take the second derivative of cosine of x, that's going to give us negative cosine of x. And if I take the third derivative of cosine of x, it's going to give me sine of x. And if I take one more and I take the fourth derivative of cosine of x, I notice that I'm back to my original function. So I've looped around. So I notice that that happened with 4 derivatives. So that means, just like up here, if I take d sub b dx to the b of cosine of x, that's going to equal to cosine of x if b is equal to 4i, where I is an element of the natural numbers. So what does that tell us? That tells us that all we need to do is we need to find the smallest. So it says it's looking for the smallest integer n. So we want the smallest n so that 3 to the n times 4, or sorry, 3 to the, I guess we'll say m times 4 to the n is equal to n. Okay? So we just need to find the smallest numbers so that 3 and 4 both divide, where m and little n are both greater than or equal to 1. And obviously that is going to be 12. So the first derivative that we're going to be able to find would be n equal 12, where m and n both equal to 1. So if we do this, that means that n up here is going to be 12. So our 12th derivative of g of x is equal to x. And we can write that down here. Is equal to g of x. And that is going to be our solution. And that's because when we take the derivative of g of x, we're taking the derivative of cosine of x plus the derivative of f of x. So we just need to find where both of those guys are back to their original form. All right, so hopefully you enjoyed working through this problem. If you did, please like and subscribe. If you have your own problem that you'd like us to work through, please submit it via email. Otherwise, as you're working through problems, think once, think twice, and if you get stuck, think thrice.